for sparing your time to be with us. As I said, my name is Marcy Kalichi. I'm going to be hosting this event together with
Marumbo.
So help me welcome on stage the great son of Malawi.
Hey.
The great son of Sichinga. And the colonial Kenneth. Marumbo, welcome on stage.
Sichinga. I actually kind of deserve that. I've been putting my name on blast, and yeah, my colonial name is Kenneth. Can we take a moment to embrace the fit, please, 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 please. This was a bad financial decision that I made on holiday, thanks to Sammy, and I made it especially for this evening. How are we feeling? Cool. Yeah, as you said, I go by the name Marumbo Sichinga, and I'm so hey. I go by the name Marumbo Kenneth Sichinga. You happy already? Yeah. Can't be cool these days, huh? I had timed my set. My set was exactly 14 minutes and 48 seconds. But because I talk a lot, I realized it's going to be like 17 minutes. And so I added the 3 minutes so I could talk. And so before my set begins, I want to first and foremost thank everyone that's been on this stage. So can I get a round of applause for King, Daniel, thank you to the good people at Cafe Envision, Peter and your whole team. Thank you so much for hosting us. And then last but not least, can I please get a round of applause for yourselves for being here tonight. Some poetry. I wrote this poem for a girl I love that I could never be with. It's poetry, look. Do you ever sit and watch the sunset while drinking your chai tea and wonder what life would have been like if you were bold enough to accept me? And I, crazy enough to get over my ex, and you, willing to grow old with me, and I, willing to accept that I would always be second to your first love, and I, learning not to take that personally even though personal it is. Do you wonder what life would have been like if we translated those 5-hour phone calls to 50 years of marriage and bond and practice and submission to one another and happily forever afters and sunrises and sunsets? Do you wonder if distance would have gotten in the way? Or would it have been time? I wonder if you forced yourself to let go because you thought I wasn't worth the wait. Oh, your wow, I wonder if anyone will ever be worth your wow. I wonder if when you crack the hidden messages in my poems, if you still smile. I wonder if this poem is selfish, or if it's a catharsis, a final burying place, so coulda, shoulda beens, a tomb, the catacomb that built, the catalyst effect that brought about that Damien Jr. Gomali song. A reminder not to live life in a rush. The past cannot be returned to you. Be proud of owning up. The truth will never hurt you. And the truth is, I almost died this year. You see, death and flying will give you a perspective that you've never seen before. They remind you that time is fleeting and that the earth is not our home, and so we should never live in the past when the present is a gift. And so I stop wondering and think to myself that you are as whole without me as you would have been with me. And that maybe chai tea isn't bad after all, even though I prefer a gold blend. And that maybe we were a heartbreak waiting to happen. And that's okay. And it's okay that we may never know, but what if? This next poem is about you.
Thank you.
My friend was telling me how poets just like to complain. So this is one of those poems about complaining. So this is the next one after this.
Not me.
You act like falling in love is a bad thing. Like being committed is a leprosy that covers your skin and makes you unclean. You act like you are incapable of more than just unreciprocated feelings, a volcano of pent-up emotions always waiting to erupt. You act like there is more to you than just the anger that you hold. Like you are just a body, as if the physical is the only realm that you exist in, and so all you do is take bodies, as if you are not made of more than just body. You are made up of soul and spirit, and so sometimes you act like there is no God, as if He has not shown you love or how to pray, or ways with which you should not prey on innocent souls that fall in love with you. It takes them 6 days to fall in love with you, and on the 7th day you rest while they are still figuring out which fruit to eat. The fruit of the tree of life, or good and evil. As they say, a fruit a day keeps the doctor away, and you have never learned the art of swallowing your Adam's apple. You forget that this house cannot be home enough for your ego, and love, and hurt, and pain, and all the selfishness that you carry around. Because good Lord, why is it so hard for you to fall in love? You act like falling in love is a bad thing. I also want to say, just because I pointed in this general direction does not mean that I was firing shots at anybody in particular. Just in case people get some ideas, I just like to use my hands. As you switch direction? So why do you act like falling in love is a bad thing? Huh?
It's like being in school, huh? Someone's performing, everyone's just, you know.
In true poet fashion, I'm about to complain again. And this next poem is also about you, and you change hand direction. The problem is you. Notice what I did there? And your kind. You have convinced yourself that your wants and emotions are the Everest that men must climb. And so if they fail to meet your needs or meet you at the peak, you cut them loose. Because your wants and demands are a load too heavy for one man, but a yoke light for another man that is truly for you. And so you treat all your would-be lovers like donkeys to pull the cart of your every wish. And then you empty their cards so that you can empty your cart filled with shoes and bags and baggage and all the other things that you have not healed from. And then you wonder why you are left alone. As if you didn't act like you were the only thing that mattered in your so-called relationship. You mistake timidness for kindness. and the allowance to walk over lovers that want nothing but the best for us for actual love. We bend people so hard that we wonder when they snap. Treating human beings as if they are sticks, and so soon they and Elvis will leave the building, and the only thing that will remain will be sad, hollow songs. I wonder if there is a song that rings throughout the universe. I wonder if when Saturn offers up her rings to Mars, do the stars get jealous? And in your universe, if you do not get what you want, does your righteous anger find a piece of wood to devour? Do you always consider yourself holy ground, a place where you can do no wrong, where nothing else but your wants and demands matter? I hope that someday there will be a man who will be a bay wide enough for the floods of your emotions, an ark built to cover your floods, a spaceship built by Elon Musk ready to travel the universe where you alone matter. A lover conscious enough to always be politically correct and not feel like they are dying inside because I am nothing of the sort. I hope by then that some men would have scaled to your peak and piqued your interest. I hope by then that some men would have figured out how to love you and it would have been enough. I hope that someday it will be enough. Can I please get a round of applause for Melissa? My new favorite fun thing to do at events is also to put Aristide on the spotlight because I think he's a genius. So can I please get a round of applause for Aristide? Look at him, he just smiles and like bows his head. I don't think he understands how talented he actually is. When I first moved to Rwanda, there was this like phenomenon that we don't have back home in Malawi, which are like motos. They scare the hell out of me. But I'd get here and there'll be like this like lady on this bike and like she'd be there on her phone and I'm there just like grabbing to the seat and making sure that I'm standing on this bike. But they'll be there just like, chilling and I was like, wow, must be nice. So I wrote a poem on the back of a moto because over time I also got caught. So there I was on the back of this moto with my phone in hand, weaving in and out of traffic, almost being hit and dying. I exaggerate, okay, I wasn't dying. When it dawned on me that this is kind of scary. And I wondered to myself how I could place my life with this man that I just met like literally 2 minutes ago. When it takes me more than 2 months to fall in love and an extra 3 just to become friends with people and trust other humans. And so I decided to put my phone back in my pocket and held on to this bike for dear life. And then eventually it dawned on me that fear is no driving force for life or pause. And so I decided that I would trust this man that I just met with my life because good people exist and you know this because once in a while you are a good person too. And so I put out my phone and continued to write this poem in the hope that at the end of this poem me and this motor driver would end up being friends. And he would wonder how in the first place I ever trusted his ability to drive this motor and keep me safe. And so I wrote and wrote. And I also wrote about the fact that in Rwanda, it's one of the few places in Africa where you can pull out your phone mid-traffic and not be scared of it being snatched or stolen from you. Because guns exist and prison time is long. But more especially because good people exist. And you know this because once in a while, you are a good person too. And so I wrote about friendship and love and motor rides and the beautiful night scene that is Kigali, because the power here doesn't really go off much like in Malawi. And then I wrote some more so that maybe someone in the audience wouldn't have to warn me not to be so liberal with my trust. And then maybe I wouldn't have to tell them that they aren't wrong, that bad people exist. And you know this because once in a while you are a bad person too. But that they would be missing the point. Just because people hurt us doesn't mean that everyone will. And so we should live life with the eventual reality that we can trust the people around us. And that motorized aren't as dangerous as I thought they would be. And that overall, good people exist. And you know this, because once in a while, you are a good person too. That wasn't too bad. I actually timed that one at home when I was practicing, and I was like, wait, are we going to be able to do this live? And somehow we made it through. So thank you so much for being such a good audience. Happens after 12 and 2 a.m. is no exception. And so just like doctors celebrating that they give life because they catch babies, it is you and I pretending that we have forgotten what it feels like. Such that when it's late at night and I'm drunk trying to dial my mother, I end up dialing you. But your dial tone has an underlying dying tone of how love never lived here, never existed. Which means we ran out of air. Which means we ran out of steam to keep the train of 2 a.m. thoughts on track. And so one must accept defeat and stop looking for love at the bottom of an empty glass. Only then maybe will I be free of these 2 a.m. drunk phone calls, drunk texts, drunk poems that needed not to have been written nor sent, but were felt anyway. Aristide! That poem is dedicated to all my friends that get drunk and call their exes. I want to take this moment to thank you all very much for being here tonight. I don't take it for granted. I know I've said a lot of thank yous tonight, but I want to say another thank you again to everyone that's performed. Thank you very much to Cafe Vision, and last but not least, thank you to everyone for being here. I don't take this for granted. Thank you so much. I'm gonna do my last poem of the night. Thank you. It's kind of sad when people don't want you to actually do this speech. Thank you. The title of this poem is Maybe Tomorrow, but there's nothing in this poem that's about tomorrow. Do you remember the first night we met? And I asked you to show me the real you, and you heard out your heart and it was bare, just like your feet. And when I asked you to dance, little did we know that through the soles of your feet that our souls would meet and that we would dance that night in spirit. We were kindred hearts, art coming alive, poetry in motion, the ingredients of a love potion. We were chemical X. And we did fit like hand in glove, like songs of birds in love, like islands in the streams. Like the look in the eyes of old couples who seem to know all the steps to our dance, such that the steps we wish to take tomorrow they have already danced in, and that the secret to old age is to keep dancing. And I'd like for your thoughts to meet mine. You're not yet mine, but in my thoughts I stand at the entrance of a tunnel looking down at you. You are my mind, and in you lies a reserve of black diamonds, a rare heart reserved for a heart much like mine. And the explosive effect of the dynamite within you will blow for me a path to you to reach what's mine. And in you I will dig deep and deep and deeper until we reach the depths of your soul. And so I will sew myself to the seam of your skin, and we will seem to be made of one fabric. And I will be tailored for you, cut from the same cloth, designed from the same God. But I know that one day I will get down on one knee and ask you to marry me. And I understand that that day may not be the day, and so as we wait for that day, I hope that you will be ready for me. And so if tomorrow never comes, know that my love for you is an unending river of love and joy, and an expression of my heartfelt gratitude for you being in my life. And so one day our souls will stand across the edge of heaven and speak to God, and God will smile upon us, for He would have placed us right where we are. And so I trust that there is a day where we will be forged together, and we will be as if one body, one mind, a unit of sorts. But until that day, I hope that your heart will continue to beat for mine, bleeding into the ends of life, because that's where our life was formed. Thank you. I can't believe I survived that set. Thank you so much for being such a wonderful audience.